Welcome to Team Tigio Court TV, where we upload videos every single day. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and share our videos.
Your Honor, we're present in State of Ohio versus Bridget Buckley on case number 25 CR 00008. We are here today for purposes of sentencing, and the defendant is in court represented by counsel. When we were last here on August 19th of this year, the defendant withdrew her previously entered plea of not guilty and pled guilty to count 1, trafficking in cocaine and felony of the 4th degree, and count 2, trafficking in cocaine and felony of the 4th degree, with an attached forfeiture specification. The court referred the defendant for a pre-sentence report and psychological evaluation. Those reports have been completed, and the state is prepared to proceed with sentencing.
All right, Mr. Marine.
Thank you, Judge, and may it please the court. Judge, I've had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence report, the mental health evaluation. In so many ways, they mirror the sentencing memorandum, which I filed with the court. And I don't want to reiterate the entirety of those, but I think in pertinent point, Judge, and you appreciate, Miss Gonzalez was previously Buckley, now recently Gonzalez, 21 years old. I don't say any of this to embarrass her, but she's had an incredibly difficult upbringing. She suffers from serious mental health issues. She's on a myriad of psychotropic medications. I know that she had that discussion with you the last time we were in court. She, throughout her youth, experienced physical, emotional, sexual abuse. And the confluences of that, Judge, sometime in her early teens, she becomes introduced to first alcohol and then drugs. And from there, it was just, it wasn't a slow start. It was she immediately hit 10 and was just a constant heavy drug user to the point where she, in her teens, was referred to inpatient treatment. Excuse me, I don't want to speak incorrectly here. There was a treatment. I don't know whether that was inpatient or outpatient treatment, but completed that treatment program and then within a matter of weeks relapsed. She had difficulty in school because she had no stability at home, and so fairly soon after she turned 18, became an exotic dancer, and that is the entirety of her employment history as an adult. While she was employed as an exotic dancer, it was just normal operating procedure in that establishment to regularly use cocaine. And so she used cocaine to the point where she actually deviated her septum, and until fairly recently was a daily cocaine user. So we're not downplaying the significance of the offense conduct at issue, and I don't say this is a joke. Frankly, she's not a Pablo Escobar. She's not some big named drug dealer. This is an addict who was certainly using and selling to get by, who has a, I believe, 1-year-old child that she's struggling to raise on her own with, again, no real employment history. And she's now got another child on the way. That child is high risk, as the court can appreciate, and certainly you can inquire of my client, but what she's told me is that she's meeting with a doctor at least twice a week to monitor the child's health. She has a scheduled inducement later this year. Judge, this felony conviction in her lifetime, it's a non-violent offense. It's a felonies of the 4th degree. And so I would ask that the court consider placing her on a term of community control, a number of conditions, outpatient treatment, and Gonzalez has at least taken that initial step. She's got her intake appointment with an outpatient treatment program that's located near downtown Cleveland, and that's for later this month. We would also ask that during that term of community control that she be linked with some sort of job readiness program, because this is somebody who, again, is virtually destitute, has no employment history, and she's got to be able to take care of her children. I would ask that the court not impose a period of of local incarceration because of the health issues that I've just highlighted. And if the court's going to impose some punitive sanction, considering a term of home incarceration so that she can continue to take care of her minor child. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Gonzalez, what do you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
Your Honor, I wanted to tell you that I understand the consequences of my actions, but I ask you show mercy so I can take care of my family. My in-law is blind. I take care of her full time. My son has a heart deficiency that I'm currently pregnant with. My minor at home only has me, and I just ask that you consider them in my sentencing.
All right, so how'd you get involved with this offense?
Your Honor, I was planning to use with the woman that was deceased.
Okay.
I was planning to take her money and use with her before I knew she was deceased.
All right. So how long had you been doing that?
As an adult, since I was 18, Your Honor.
What about before that?
A few years, Your Honor. I was an inpatient when I was 15 to treat my addiction.
Okay. So when's the last time you used anything?
Prior to my pregnancy, Your Honor.
So how is all this going to change?
I understand that this can't happen again, Your Honor, for the sake of my family.
What about for the sake of you?
Of course, for the sake of me. I'm the one my family depends on.
So what about your husband? Where is he right now?
He's incarcerated in Lake County, Your Honor.
So what's he going to do? What's going on with him?
He's getting his GED as terms of his probation, and he will be promoted at his job once he receives his GED, and he plans to take care of me and my family.
Where does he work?
R&R Auto Body.
What does he do?
He's a detailer, Your Honor.
What are you going to do employment-wise?
Whatever is going to hire me pregnant, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, in the past, you've worked in bars, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's not my plan.
All right. Didn't I see somewhere in here that you were attending bartending school or something like that?
Yes, Your Honor, as a mixologist, not as a bartender. I don't plan to be a bartender.
What does a mixologist do versus a bartender?
It's a more higher scale certificate, as like I wouldn't be referred to as a bartender, I'd be referred to as a mixologist in maybe a hotel setting of a fancy like Ritz-Carlton, Your Honor.
All right. Do you realize that you got to stay away from alcohol?
Yes, Your Honor. Alcohol has never been my substance choice. It's always been cocaine.
Okay. Well, so did you ever drink?
Yes, Your Honor. Working in the club scene, I've been offered drinks by customers that I accepted.
Isn't that what led you into the drugs?
I would say the stripping setting and the exotic dancing setting is what led me into drugs.
All right. How old are you now?
21, Your Honor.
All right, 21. And, you know, you've lived, like, in those 21 years, or a substantial part of those 21 years, lived a bad lifetime, right?
I would agree, Your Honor.
All right. Where are you getting mental health treatment?
I'm getting mental health treatment at university hospitals and the centers, Your Honor.
All right, where is the centers?
Gordon Square, Your Honor.
And who do you see at UH?
I see Eric Reed and Jamie Huckins Barker, Your Honor.
All right, what jobs do they have?
Psychiatric and counseling, Your Honor.
So one of them is a psychiatrist?
Correct, Your Honor.
Is that where you get your medication?
Yes, Your Honor.
What medication?
Lamictal, Abilify, and Cymbalta, Your Honor.
And what are those treating? What conditions?
Schizophrenia, anger management, PTSD, depression and anxiety, and OCD, Your Honor.
All right. What, are you taking that medication currently?
Yes, Your Honor.
And does your doctor that's handling the pregnancy, does your doctor know that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And who's the other one you see at UH?
Jamie Huckins Barker.
What do you see Jamie for?
She's my counselor. My
And how often do
therapist.
you see her?
Every 2 weeks, Your Honor.
How long have you been going to UH for this?
Prior to my first pregnancy, so I would say about almost 3 years, Your Honor.
Okay. And what do you do at the centers?
IOP, Your Honor.
When did you start that?
My assessment, I scheduled it as soon as I got incarcerated and saw you, Your Honor, but they did not have availability to squeeze me in until the 19th of this month.
And what's the program going to entail there?
It's intensive outpatient treatment for drug users.
Okay, and what kind of frequency?
I'm assuming every 2 weeks.
One session every 2 weeks?
Yes, Your Honor.
It doesn't sound like an IOP.
I did not ask the frequency. They told me to call my insurance to see what they cover, Your Honor. When I was a juvenile, I went twice a week, so I'm hoping that's the outcome.
All right, so were you using the cocaine while you were on the mental health meds?
Yes, Your Honor.
What kind of effect did that have on you?
My mental health meds are sedatives, so if anything, I would say the cocaine reversed them.
How do you know that?
My psychiatrist told me my medications are sedatives, Your Honor.
Reverse the effect of your mental health meds?
Yes, Your Honor.
Isn't that kind of a disaster?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you realize that the use of cocaine when you were on your mental health meds would negate the effect of your mental health meds?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, but you didn't stop, right?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So what makes me believe you're going to stop now?
I'm pregnant, Your Honor, with 2 children, and I take care of my in-laws, as I said recently.
All right. When
I
this
have a
was going
lot-
on, you had 1 child, right?
Yes, I did not have my child at nighttime, and that's when I would use.
Okay. All right, anything else you want to say?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Alessi?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state is recommending community control sanctions. In this case, we would ask for a period of local incarceration, including jail treatment program. The defendant does have a criminal history, which includes receiving stolen property as a juvenile, where she was ordered to obtain a drug and alcohol assessment, mental health assessment, and follow those recommendations. But more importantly, as an adult, in 2023, she was convicted of carrying concealed weapons and possession of drugs. Those were both reduced from felonies, and in that case, she was ordered to also obtain a substance abuse evaluation and aftercare. Despite that offense, she reoffended, committing a similar offense here. At least on both occasions, we can say she was using or possessing drugs and was in a car with a firearm. So despite that previous conviction and attempt at rehabilitation, it was unsuccessful because she did it again. This is a serious offense, and for that there needs to be consequences. And even though, I know she asked this court to show mercy because of her child and family obligations, I think it's unfair of her to ask this court that because she wasn't thinking of her child and her family when she committed these offenses. So we do feel a period of local incarceration is appropriate. She has credit for 2 days. Thank you.
How much, you've served 2 days on this case. How much time have you served in jail on other cases?
1 day, Your Honor.
Where was that?
Menor Municipal. I was overnight there, Your Honor.
On any other cases, have you spent time in jail?
No, Your Honor.
What about when you were a juvenile in detention?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, have a seat. All right, I have reviewed the pre-sentence report as well as the psychological evaluation. I have considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, And 13, I reviewed the sentencing memorandum that was filed in your support. Listen to you, listen to counsel. You are in a very precarious situation right now. You've done a lot of damage to yourself over the years with the drugs and with your lifestyle. And if you do what you're supposed to do, you can live another 65 years in good health if you want. You have been either unable or unwilling to stop in the past. Could be either one of those, it could be a combination of both. But it's plainly obvious to me that if you don't, if you get back to this, you're not going to last. Now, how you manage to avoid the fentanyl poison through all your use while this was going on is beyond me, because most people don't escape that. But the bottom line is you got to figure out how you're going to live. Because if you don't, you're going to die. I'm going to place you on community control for 4 years. For the time being, you're going to serve 2 days in jail with credit for 2. You're going to have no drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. You're going to complete the IOP program, whatever it is. And my guess is it's a lot more than once or twice a week. You're going to follow all those recommendations. You're going to continue your mental health treatment at UH. You're going to comply and follow all those recommendations. You're to only utilize your current doctors, 1 dentist and 1 pharmacy for prescription medication. Take your medication as is prescribed. And assign releases so probation can get your records. You're going to attend at least 3 AA or NA meetings per week and get a sponsor. And then I'm going to defer 60 days in the Lake County Jail on this case until April 10th of next year at 10 a.m. We're going to have a hearing before that at 9 a.m. And we're going to see if you're serious about this stuff. And if you are, then you won't have to do those days. If you're not, then you will have to do those days. And if you violate in the meantime, it'll be worse than that, okay? Any other terms, Ms. Knaus?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Do you understand all the terms?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, if you don't comply with the terms, and the state will file a motion to terminate your community control, and if I find you violated, then you face 36 months in prison. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's not 2 days in jail, that's 36 months in prison.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any questions about anything?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. Ms. Alessi, anything else?
We would just ask for the forfeiture of the items.
Whatever is subject to forfeiture is forfeited to the state.
And is the court imposing any court costs?
Yeah, the costs also.
Thank you.
Mr. Marine, anything further?
No, Judge, not this time. Thank you.
All right. As I said, you're in a very pivotal spot in your life. So if you want to live it the way you're supposed to, put in the work in order to accomplish that.
Right.